All right, welcome to the second part of the explanation of Ideals of Love Experience, this beautiful illustrated book and the totality of the message, method, and movement of Ideals of Love. We finished off last time talking about that deepest place within the heart of true love. And that if we were able to live from that place, then we could realize the world of our ideals. And I left you last time think about what that would look like, about how every area of life would be the manifestation of love, and that is what was meant to be, that we were meant to have all of our beliefs in perfect alignment, in perfect unison with our knowing of love. Now, I don't blame anybody for thinking that this is over-the-top idealistic, that it's just not real. Because let's face it, the world that we live in right now is a brutal reality. It's a world that is disconnected from the heart. It is a world where there is a cancer of confusion that we live in. So there's a very important distinction to make right here, because we know that life is challenging. We know that we go through some things that really test us to the core. And for a lot of people, they sum up these challenges as being suffering, as being the design that we are meant to suffer. But that's not true at all. That there's a distinction. Clearly, the mistakes and failures are a part of our learning experience, but they don't account for the self-inflicted pains, the cruelty, the greed, the hatred that we see in this world. That stuff is not natural. It is not meant, we're not meant to treat each other like that. But that's the story of human history. And since the beginning of civilizations, teachings have arose to explain this inherent contradiction of human nature. And those teachings were trying to make sense of this disconnect. They were very relevant at the time of the consciousness that they were in. But our awakening, the awakening to conscience, has exposed them for their incompleteness, the flawed doctrines, the confusion that they bring. And yet these belief systems, they persist. And at this point, their hypocrisy and their contradictions are creating more problems than they're helping to solve. But they are perpetrated by the institutions that they are built upon. These institutions, these beliefs maintain the power of these institutions. Not good, folks. So in this next panel, I depict, it's actually a scene from a movie, Robin Williams running through hell. Literally, he's in this picture. Deceived, delusional, deranged. Apocryphal beliefs result in a convoluted reality of serving self over serving others, leading to separation, scarcity, and fear. And that warped minds embrace this existence, justified through deception and lies. This is really what we see. We see that thinking has gotten so convoluted that the reality that we see, what some people believe is the right way to live, is just to serve self. It's just it's like a survival of the fittest thing. And that is justified through deception and lies. So it really comes down, this belief thing is so central, it's so core, it's everything. It's who we become, and it's what the world has become. So born of beliefs, that what we see, that we can say that everything that we see around us is born of belief. The universe is born of the beliefs of love. And flawed beliefs have created a miserable reality. And if we understand this correctly, then we can say that these flawed beliefs must cease to exist because they're making us all miserable. So then the question becomes, where can we find the supreme standard for discerning between beliefs that result in a reality of love and beliefs that result in a reality of misery? Where can we find that standard? That's where we're going to right now. It is revealed through a deep examination of how ideals are brought into reality. I have come up with a way of looking at beliefs that I think is pretty cool. Beliefs as the portal between the realm of our ideals and the realm of reality, the realm of inspiration, of spiritual, and the realm of physical, of actualization. And it's depicted here as this man standing in this kind of a portal, this Stargate kind of image that we've got here. And I love this because it really shows that beliefs are the driving force of what is manifested around us. And beliefs of love originate from our knowing of love and result in our reality of love. Beliefs disconnected from our knowing of love, our heart, manifest an unloving reality. But this begs the question, if there exists a realm of ideals, a realm of this perfect possibility, why even bother with this physical life? You know, this is the realm of challenge. It's a realm where everything dies. Is that by design? Or is this a form of punishment? Is this a form of illusions, as some teachings would have you believe? That this is all just here and we're here for suffering. We need to look at that. So in the next one we've got cause and effect. Okay, this is a principle that we know is true in our lives and is true throughout the universe. In the beginning, there was a deep longing, a cause that passionately desired to create an effect. Well, I am an effect of that cause. And I also long for things. I have a longing. So to understand the motivation of this effect, of the physical world that we live in, of our physical lives, all we need do is to ask ourselves, what do I long for? I long to create relationships of love. Our ability to create makes us responsible to make choices. So I believe means that I have chosen of my own free will. You see, this is the whole essence of what life is about. That we are in a realm of time and space, which demands of us to always make choices. And it's through choosing love that we grow and we become the essence of love. We expand the essence of love. That is me. Otherwise, we would be robots programmed to say, I love you, I love you. It's not like that, folks. This is all about us growing and expanding in love. And that's the whole thing here. The universe is designed as a nurturing place for us to grow in becoming love. And it's just as the same kind of things that a parent creates for their own children. So there we have it. Everything is made for us to grow in our expression of love, just from that same kind of parental heart. This is the motivation of creation. And it is manifested through the force of ideals of love. So it is the force of ideals of love expressed throughout the universe that we see has manifested this heart of love, of wanting to nurture us in our growing of love. And when we evaluate this force, what we see is that there is an immutable truth, the laws, the principles that have created and guided all relationships. And that it is manifested in this infinite variety of beauty. And that everything is harmoniously expanding the experience of love together. That the force of ideals of love have been manifested through this unchanging truth, this unique beauty, and this universal goodness. Do you realize what this is? This is the supreme standard of truth, beauty, and goodness that we can build our beliefs upon. It's right here for all of us to see. And this is really cool, what I've done here. Okay, this connection, this divine inspiration that I got. Intellect values truth. Emotions envision beauty. Will pursues goodness. Our intellect, emotion, and will. As light travels through a prism Intellect, emotion, and will are the prism of self. We take in and we reflect back out from our unique point of reference, just like in a prism. Each little element of it reflects in the same truth, beauty, and goodness life, but it reflects it back out in a wonderful way. These are the infinite variables of our life that only we can interpret. And this is how we internalize our beliefs. So we're going to do an exercise now. Truth, beauty, goodness, ideals, love, TBGIL. Excuse me for my acronyms, but what do you call these things? Take any ideal from the blessings list, engage your intellect, your emotion, and will to discover what is true, what is beautiful, and what is good. And that, the answer that you come up with, is building your beliefs of love. So on this page, the typical exercise, building beliefs of love, asking ourselves what is true, what is beautiful, what is good. This is the examples that I came up with. And I won't read through all of them, but let's just do a couple of them. The first relationship and say the fourth relationship. Knowing the universe is conspiring to support them. My truth about that relationship is that we are all in a relationship with the source of love. And this source wants the best for us. My beauty belief in that is to see everything as a gift, to be filled with gratitude, and to have that sense that I am being cared for. My goodness is that I am confident that all will work out in the end. All is working out for the purpose of good. And this gives me a positive outlook on life. In the fourth relationship, the committed couple, there's a blessing that my loved one would experience lifelong intimacy. My truth in that is that we are designed for sex throughout our adult life. And the beauty of that is that the sexual relationship is the most powerful emotion of love that we are able to share with another individual. And of course, there are many wonderful goodnesses that come out of this. That intimacy strengthens our commitment with this other person. And that sex is actually good for your health. So for your homework, for the part 2 of the Ideals of Love Illustrated, I want you to go back and revisit the blessings list and to find some of these for yourself, to really connect with how powerful this is of connecting with your truth, with your beauty, with your goodness, with really connecting with the roots of love. In the next part, we're going to talk about values, visions, and missions, of how this actually applies to our lives, to our relationships, and how we can really stand in it and be so inspired, so empowered. I can't wait to share it with you. Until then.